Hey everybody, it's Camille Prosperity out of Savannah, Georgia. You can find me everywhere at hellocamille.com. Go ahead and as you come in, please be sure to like this video because I'm sure you will. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. YouTube is unsubscribing people. Oh my goodness. I just had somebody post on my USC book video and they said, I know for a fact I saved this video and subscribed to you. And I came back and was unsubscribed. And I said, well, I'm happy you found me again. And I just referred them over to connect with me on hellocamille.com. You can reach me everywhere from there. Okay. So guys, listen. And as you come in, y'all balance the scales. Y'all know so much about me. And I don't be knowing about y'all. So the least you could do is help me feel a little bit balanced and tell me where you are watching from, regardless of whether you are a live viewer or a replay viewer. I love you all the same and I appreciate it. Okay. So listen, I was just going to give you guys an update because it's been a while. I think about a week since I spoke to y'all the last time. I was super duper excited and smiling so hard because a gentleman that I met online through doing these videos, he and I are cool and we communicate outside of social media. And so I consider him my little brother. I'm old enough to be his mother, but he is so wise beyond his years. And he was the special guest speaker last week when we covered like legal and law stuff in the Credit Crushers. And by the way, this is not legal advice, but we're just talking law terminology and how things go on in that arena. I'm not a lawyer, nothing of the sort, don't claim to be. However, Jay, my little brother, he has a lot of experience with dealing with crooks and criminals in the credit realm. And he just shared that for about an hour. He went in. He told my credit crushers everything that they wanted to know. Gave his full entire story, and then at the end invited them to a Q&A. And so I was super duper excited about that. And guys, it's so funny because people will say, why don't you help out the people? Why don't you do this? Why don't you offer a class? Why don't you offer a course? Let me tell you something. A course you can put together on your own and you can sell a login and then tell the people, fly little birdie, here you go. There's the information. Go at it. But if you're doing a mentorship where you're actually live with them, ooh, it's fun and it's good, but it's nerve wracking. It's nerve wracking because you're on live. And so it's totally different than when you come on YouTube and there's this one-way communication and you can shut it down at any point in time. No, no, no. You got to be there. Hey, what's going on, Manny? Manny to Mambasa. Looking to get there. Hey, sis, what's going on? How are you doing this Thursday? But yeah, I like the live interaction. And our format is every week I have a topic. I present with slides and information, and then there's a separate recording that is the Q&A. So you don't get that with a course, y'all. You maybe will get a Facebook group where you can go in there and post your question, but it's usually anybody can answer. You don't know if it's the real answer. Will the person who taught the material answer? Probably not, because they're busy doing other things. So, it's totally different when you're doing a mentorship. And by the way, that's why I wanted to do the mentorship, because it's not just a money grab for me. I really wanted people to, like, we're all so busy. I wanted to have some accountability so that people would actually do the work. And I already know that when you sell a course, most people, they don't even log in. Once they get that dopamine hit from buying it, they don't. And I'm guilty of that too. No shade, no shade, no judgment, because I've done it myself. What's going on? Wake and Bake with Uncle Ray. I like that name. That's very interesting. I like that name. Okay. What's going on, Yisrael? Okay. What's going on, family? All right. Thank you for putting it down there. What it meant. I was like, what is this? Okay. I appreciate you. Too much is going on, but all good stuff. So this week, y'all, since we had Jay set us up with the legal, this week what we talked about was disputing. And this was the week that I was like, ooh, if I make it through this week, I'm golden. This week was very, very interesting. I knew it was going to be a heavy week. Normally my presentation is about 14, 15 slides. This week it was 30. It was 30. And I have people in different time zones. So trying to find a day and a time when everybody could come together, I was also worried about that. But so far, I have to give like my hat off to the Credit Crushers, give them a round of applause and some claps because they have been showing up faithfully. They are not letting the grass grow under their feet. They're taking action and communicating in between classes in our Telegram chat, telling me what they need. And so last night, a lot of people were on and we talked about disputing. And y'all, seriously, every slide that I did literally could have been 1 hour on its own. On its own. So the main thing for me was trying to condense down all of the information I've taken in the last 2 years into something that didn't have us on the line until midnight. And what was such a trip about it is that they act like they don't mind. When I did the presentation last night and it was 2 hours, when I finished, I jokingly said, "Are y'all still awake?" But they were like, "Yeah, we're here." And I was like, "Wow." So it was very, very interesting. It was a whole lot of fun. We had a lot to cover. There are so many things pertaining to like credit controls so many aspects of our lives. And there are so many things that we do not know. It doesn't matter the age. It does not matter the age. So I'm so proud of the Credit Crushers for investing in themselves monetarily first and then time wise. Because, like I said, it's nothing for someone to pay for something, but will they actually show up? You don't know. But the Credit Crushers are showing up asking great, even after 2 hours, they ask great, 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 great questions. And then on top of that, I have someone, maybe this is your first video. This is my first wave. This is the first group of people that I'm doing with the mentorship. And I already had somebody inquire about wave 2 because they missed out on wave 1. So they've already secured their seat. They paid for it. And so I've started working with her. And I have to share with y'all too this because this made my day. And I want y'all to understand this. The earlier you secure your spot, the quicker we can start working so that we can start working together so that when it is time for your class to start, you're that much further ahead than you would have been otherwise. Okay. But disputing is something that we all need to know. We need to know how to articulate ourselves. We need to know the trigger words and phrases. We need to know how to use the language of the law because a lot of times you're not getting a response from the bureaus. That's what y'all call them, but they're credit reporting agencies. A lot of times you're not getting the response that you want because you are not using the exact language of the law. There literally could be like one word that could make the difference in how you're answered. Okay, the quality of our answers is determined by the quality of our questions. So if we ask a CRA, where did you get this information from? It is not the same question as who provided you with this information. It's not. It sounds the same, but those are two different questions. Where did you get the information from is not the same as who provided you the information. And that can make the difference in something coming off of your credit report because you're able to prove that they lied when they answered the question versus they didn't lie, because that's the whole thing. You have to know, you have to have the knowledge and a mastery of language and understanding of how to ask quality questions so well that you literally trick them into lying on themselves, telling on themselves. And they will do it. But there are just very subtle differences that make all the differences in the world. So I'm going to share with you guys. I'm just going to share this testimonial. How do I do it again? Every single time I come on here. No, it's not slides. Yeah, share screen. Share screen. Is that it? Yes. Okay. Every time I come on here, it's like I've never been on here before. It's a trip. My bad. But thank y'all for being with me. So yeah, I'm going to share with you. See, this is the testimonial from someone who has already signed up for wave 2, which is going to start. I said March 1st, but I forgot. That's when we're ending. That's the last day of class for wave 1. So I'm thinking we're going to start on March 2nd, which will be a Thursday. And so, yeah, look at what she says this morning, because we have already been speaking. Like I said, the moment she secured her seat, I gave her some action items to work on, even though her class doesn't start for another week. Um, and she secured her seat, what, a week ago? Yeah, a week ago. So this is why you see her saying she apologizes for the delay in response. But I love this. She said, I didn't want to respond until I did the work. She got to experience, was on the phone with them for an hour. She has the name of the person that she spoke with. This is so huge. I really need you guys to start getting the name of the person you spoke to. Spoke to Mary, had them to dispute. This is why I want to share this with y'all. 13 names. 13 names were on her credit report. 24 addresses. 3 social security numbers, and 3 employers. Y'all, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot, don't you think? I'm still stuck on 13 names. And I'll tell you guys this, oftentimes we have variations of our names, because you might say, I used this example last night, you might say something like, you might sign your name James Johnson, or James G. Johnson, or James Gary Johnson. Those are 3 variations of your name. Each variation opens your credit report, your credit file up to the possibility of having it mixed merged with someone else. So one of the things we need to do, and I talked about this last night, we need to decide on what we want to be called and only go by that. Every credit card should have just that. If you're going to do full first, middle, last name, then every card, every contract, everything should have that. If you're going to do full first and last, middle, initial, it should always be like that all the time. But usually most people only have 3 variations on their credit file. Her having 13, and this is not uncommon. That's what y'all don't understand. There's somebody in wave 1 right now who has a whole bunch of variations of her name. Some have to do with her maiden name, her married name, and then some are a last name. She has no clue where they got that from. This is why we have to check our credit report. This is why we have to check our credit file. And you have to dispute it right then and there, because when lenders look at this, it looks bad. It looks like you're running from the law. 13 names, 24 addresses. That don't look good. That don't sound good to nobody. 3 social security numbers. What they doing over there at Experian? But anyway, contact information is the easiest information. Demographic information is the easiest information to dispute. And a lot of people underestimate it, but it is really where you should start. It's where you should start. And I told the class last night why, and a lot of them did not know what I shared. I didn't know it until I paid people money to share with me the information. So it was a lot last night, but it was oh so very necessary. But anyway, look at what she said. I was told I would get an email within the next 24 to 72 hours to check for updates. Thank you. 1 reporting agency down, 2 to go. And see, again, this is the reason why I wanted to do a mentorship versus a class where I say just go for what you know, because I wanted that level of accountability. I wanted people to feel like, hey, I'm falling behind. When you do a course and it's just on your own time, you never feel like you're falling behind. You just think I'll get to it when I get to it. But when you're with classmates and somebody else in the class is like, hey, I got this done today, you might look and say, man, let me get on this and just knock it out. If they did it, I can do it. Or if you have somebody like me who will reach out to you and say, hey, I noticed that you missed class. Everything good? Everything okay? I spoke with someone before class yesterday, because she had gone a little bit MIA. Not that she's ever missed a class, she hasn't, but she told me she would give me a call on Sunday or Monday, and I didn't hear from her, and that's not like her. So I just reached out and asked, are you good? Because I know we all have a lot going on. And she called me directly to say, hey, I'm not avoiding you. I lost track of time. And we had a great conversation. And we were just able to get her back on track, because yes, everybody has a lot going on. That's why people need to understand, if you find somebody who you trust, don't be afraid to make the investment, because what you're going to do is you're going to collapse time frames, especially if you get, again, a one-on-one type situation or a group situation where they're speaking with you, they're communicating with you in real time. That is going to basically make whatever it is you invested in a priority. Because other than that, everything in our life is a priority, right? So anyway, I was super duper happy and excited to hear about this. So I told her that's what I'm talking about. Thanks for the update. You're in great shape to start Credit Crushers. And I asked her a very important question. Were you able to record the call? Because guys, the truth doesn't matter. Only what you can prove. The truth does not matter. It's only what you can prove. And she did record the call. She said that was her confidence booster builder for future calls. So I was really happy to get this testimonial today. This is what we all should be doing. Credit is not something that you pay attention to when you need a new car, when you need a new house, when you need a new credit card, or when you're stuck at the tire place and you don't have the money for a repair for a brand new set of tires. And now they're saying, well, you can apply for our credit card, and if you get approved, and you're hoping and praying on pins and needles, hoping that you get approved for this card, and you're probably not going to. Because I'm telling you guys right now, and I told the Credit Crushers this, if you're going to apply for credit, you should never hope and pray that you get it. You should already know. Applying for credit is not a last resort. It's a strategic first move. That's what it should be. A strategic first move, not a last resort. Okay? Uncle Ray said, facts. Yeah, hey, I don't come on here to lie. I don't come on here to lie. But with disputing, y'all, it is something that if you know how to do it, it won't take you forever. You won't have to send out 50 million letters. But there are some nuances. There are some very subtle things that, again, you should know just in your communication style. You should definitely dispute according to the law. You should know what is a law. Metro 2 is not a law. It's a guideline that they all agreed to, that you can use to prove a violation of the law. But see, if you say, hey, you violated Metro 2, and you already messed up. If you try to bring an original creditor, by the way, in social media nowadays, a lot of people are confused about what an original creditor is. We talked about that in the mentorship. But if you try to bring an original creditor under the FDCPA, there has already been case law, a precedent set that you're not going to win, because you've already misidentified the person. If you try to go for damages, right, in federal court versus state court or arbitration, see, those are different playing fields. Case law has already set a precedence that said what will entitle you to damages in federal court. And it's not the same. And like federal and state are not the same. They're not. Arbitration and litigation are not the same. But you got a lot of people on social media that make stuff sound super sexy, and they go to Cornell Law and they pull it up and they read it and say, see, this is what it says. But what does it mean? I'm not going to sit up here and play Mother Goose with y'all. You can read, but what does it mean? Because a lot of y'all read it and then you say, how do I interpret this? And more importantly, how do I enforce it? And that's where I was stuck at. That's why I had to invest in people who knew more than me, knew what they were talking about. And the young lady that I've learned under a lot, and I've shared her with you, she was studying to be a paralegal. Oh my gosh, there's so many things I can say about her. But yeah, she worked solely on evictions during COVID, and that's how she learned a lot of stuff for getting evictions off a credit report. That's the type of teacher I want, not just somebody who has a huge following, not just somebody who said, "Oh, this is a hot topic. Let me start talking about this and grow my following." No, 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 no. I need to know, do you really do this? Have you ever done this? That's the person I want to learn from. So, I'm just very, very ecstatic with how the Telegram group is going. Jay, our guest speaker from last week, literally since I've been on this live, he just joined the Telegram group. Um, because I was like, hey, bro, if you like that, I look up to him. So I'm like, if you want to be in the Telegram, just let me know. All you have to do is say the word. And he said, yeah, sure, I'll jump in there. And again, look how valuable that is to the Credit Crushers. They have a 26-year-old who in the last year has gotten over $60,000 in settlements after attorney fees. And I can't say after taxes because he doesn't have a tax liability on the settlement money. Mm, 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 mm. And they're in the same Telegram chat with him. How valuable is that? Well, it's only as valuable as you'll take advantage of the opportunity, right? Some people are going to take advantage of it more than others, right? Heartfelt. Yeah, man, because this really is, if you think about how much money we pay in interest, how much money we pay in missed opportunities, how much money we pay simply because we didn't know, how much money we lose out on because we let the statute of limitations run out, how much money we miss out on because we don't know that we don't have to have money up front for a consumer protection lawyer. It's not like a divorce lawyer. They ain't gonna talk to you about, they don't care if your family falling apart. They ain't gonna talk to you about that until you pay that consultation fee and that retainer. It's not the same thing with a consumer protection lawyer. We don't know that though. We don't know that until we know that. And so when you think about it, for me, it is hard work because you get this part down, and not only will it change things for you, but it'll also change things for your family. There's somebody in the mentorship, and he constantly talks about how he's learning this so that he can also share it with his son who's in his late 20s. And I'm just like, that's great. That's phenomenal. Why not? Why are we not learning things that we can pass on down to our children that will make their lives better? Things that are pretty much timeless. Yes, the laws will change somewhat, but credit is something that I think we all can agree it affects a large part of our lives. And it's going to affect a large part of our children's lives. It's going to be around for a while, y'all. And I don't understand people who jump automatically to trying to do consumer protection stuff, and they don't even have a good foundation. They don't even have a good understanding of credit stuff, because that's what the consumer protection laws were created for. To they spawned out of the credit industry because so many crooks and lenders were abusing us when credit rolled out. So then henceforth, consumer protection laws. So how do you skip the root and go directly to the fruit? That's why a lot of people are not getting remedy. That's why a lot of people are not having success, not because it doesn't work, but because they are trying to attack the surface and they don't even have a foundation. And it's not their fault. Social media tells us that if somebody has a whole bunch of followers and some gold chains and some fancy cars, that they are successful. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, those of us who know that the main people who are getting the biggest bucks are low key because they don't want a bunch of people bothering them because they're working. They don't have time to be dancing on the TikTok talking about 15 USC 1681B. They don't. No, they're not. No. They're not doing that. So I just wanted to come on here, give you guys an update, give you some food for thought, and just really help you. If you're serious about this, please don't go at it alone. Don't go at it alone. It's going to take too much time. And for most of you, you're going to grow weary. And you're going to just tap out before you get your remedy, before you get your understanding. And most importantly, before you have mastery of this subject to pass on to your children, your family members, and your friends. There's somebody in my Credit Crushers free group, because I do have a free Facebook group. Let me show y'all that. A lot of people said they did not know. But I'm not going to share her story, but I'm not going to share the screen, a screenshot of what she put, but I will share basically what she said. And there was somebody, I'll tell you how to get here. Hold on one second. If you go to hellocamille.com, it's right here. If you want to do the mentorship, by the way, because people ask me that all the time too. So wave 3 is going to start next week. You can secure your seat. Will there be a wave? No, wave 2. I'm sorry. I'm already on wave 2. Will there be a wave 3? I don't know. I don't know. It is a time commitment for me. So I don't know, because somebody was like, well, I'll just sign up for the next one. I was like, what next one? As far as I know, there's going to be a wave 2, because someone has already secured their spot. But wave 3, ain't nobody said nothing about no wave 3. So I would strongly encourage you to jump in right now. Also, yesterday's price is not today's price. The people in wave 1 got a lower price than the people in wave 2. That's how I always work. That's the first mover's advantage with me all the time. But there's the form. You fill that out, because not everyone will be accepted to even be a part of it. Even if you have the money, I have to see what it is you're looking for. And if I have what you're looking for and I think will be a good fit, then cool. But if you want to learn something that I don't teach, I'm not going to take your money. I'm going to let you know, oh, I see you wanted to know XYZ thing. I'm not discussing that. I don't know that. But this right here is a link to the free Credit Tips Facebook group. And someone in there just posted today how, and everybody's on their journey at different times. So right now, she doesn't know how to do the credit stuff on her own. And after COVID, her credit took a hit. She's in the tips group because she was trying to learn, but sometimes we just don't have the time. We need it done right now. So she actually posted in the group, and I'm glad that she did. She posted screenshots of a Google return that showed a credit repair agency, and it said permanently closed. And then she posted the dang on court case. And she told everybody in the group, hey, my credit got messed up after COVID. I had it fixed previously, and they did a good job. So I went recently to see if they could do it again. Come to find out, they've been shut down permanently and sued. Then she put in there that they had been doing false identity theft reports and a whole other slew of things. She put the court case for us all to go and read. And I had to tell her, while I'm shocked, I'm not shocked. There are so many cases like this out right now, guys, and it's really horrible, because sometimes these credit repair agencies will do stuff that'll have you in hot water. When you give them the authority to act on your behalf and they're doing things on your file that you know nothing about, you don't even know to ask those questions. Oftentimes, let's say you do want to enforce your rights. There's something called the doctrine of unclean hands. Yeah, you got to have clean hands before you can say that their hands are dirty. So if you're doing something that is against the law, or something that you can't defend, and half the time you can't defend it because you didn't even know it was done, right? Then you have no ground to stand on when you go to call them on what they've done wrong. Because they're going to say, don't look at us, look at you. And then what you going to do? What you going to do? And then I also asked the young lady in the free Facebook group, I said, just curious, how much did you pay them to repair your credit? Did y'all know what her answer was? How much did she pay them to repair her credit? Wake and Bake said blessings and thank you. You're so very welcome. Y'all, she paid them $1,000. $1,000. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, $1,000 is not chump change. And considering the fact, on average, the average person that pays for their credit to be repaired will need it fixed again within 6 to 9 months. Now, she did a little bit better than that, because COVID was 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that. But look at the fact that she paid them $1,000 and then she was willing to pay $1,000 again. There's big money in credit repair, y'all. So don't you think there's big savings in knowing how to do it yourself? Especially if you know how to do it correctly. Because now you're not only getting the stuff off without paying somebody else, but you can build a case, build an argument, if you understand the laws, so that you can not only get the deletions, but you can get the dollars. Think about that. Will it take time? Yes. Yes, it takes time. Already today, even though I'm tired because last night's session went so long, but already today, excuse me, already today I've watched over 3 hours of just videos and education about credit stuff. 3 hours. That's more than most people watch in a month. And I've done it today. And this is a regular thing for me because I take it seriously. And guess what? Every minute spent is worth it because sometimes I have to listen to things over and over again. This is new to me. I say new to me, meaning it's still relatively new. In all the years that I've walked this earth, I consider 3 years of study still new to me, right? When I contrasted against how long I should have known about this information. But everything is foreign until it becomes familiar. That means I have to listen to it over and over and over and over and over again. So much so that I know it like the back of my hand because it's a lot. It's a lot. You don't just get money because they did you wrong and you feel some kind of way and now you think they have to pay. It doesn't work like that. The civil liability statute, the civil liability portion of the statute tells you if you can get money, if so, how much it is. And then you still got to consider things like statute of limitations and other things. So this is a very does it work? Yes. Is it real? Yes. There are people out here getting paid. I'm in one group where they are constantly posting checks daily, anywhere from a mere $1,000, $7,500, $3,500. There are individuals in there that just off of violations on their credit report have amassed over $10,000 in settlement money. So yes, it's very real. But each one of those individuals have invested in themselves heavy, not just with the money, but also with the time to know this knowledge, to acquire this knowledge, to gain an understanding and an overstanding, and then the courage to even enforce. Knowing that if the creditor, if the lender, if the crook calls their bluff, they're going to have to take it to the next level, whether that be arbitration or litigation, arbitration if applicable. And oftentimes people, I see it all the time. They'll be like, I sent a letter and I told them to send back XYZ thing and they didn't respond. What do I do now? Well, what did you tell them you were going to do? What did you tell them was the consequence if they didn't do what the law said they are required to do? You should already know when you send that letter, you got one or two things that's going to happen. Either they're going to respond to you or they're not. In both instances, you should already know your next course of action. That's how I know when someone takes this seriously. Right? When I tell my son to clean up, he knows that there's a consequence if he doesn't. Either you clean your room, and if you don't you even think about going in the metaverse on the Oculus or none of that. Don't you even think about anything recreational, right? He already knows the consequences up front. It's the same way. It is the same way in this arena. So there are certain things that we have to think about, but oftentimes we hear something that sounds sexy. Hey, you can get paid for suing creditors. And we like, oh, really? Yeah. Then we tap into somebody who has a whole bunch of viewers, a whole bunch of followers, a whole bunch of bling bling. And then they read the laws to us, get us gassed up, get us hyped up. We send these poorly written letters with no type of consequences outlined, not asking the right questions, wonder why they didn't respond. And they didn't respond, I'm gonna tell you the truth, because you played yourself. And the way that you did things told them that you don't know what you're doing. You have no clue what you're doing. So that's why you're not getting the results that you see some other people getting. And again, I'm telling y'all, the best kept secrets are behind closed doors, in places and in spaces where people have invested in themselves and they do not want to be bothered with the masses, with the majority, because they know if they come in a YouTube comment or they go on the Instagram page of someone who appears to know what they're doing and they say, nah, that doesn't work. You do it like this. I know because I have the proof. They know that everybody's going to get in their DMs. Everybody's going to get on their page. Everybody's going to follow them. And everybody's going to harass them. And that's not what they want. They just want to put their head down and do the work. Once they get their result, they want to post it in a safe space, a safe place where everybody else is doing the work, so nobody will harass and bother them because they already know. Awake, if you know, you know. Right? So anyway, I just had to, again, come on here and brag on the Wave 1 Credit Crushers. I'm super proud of them. I'm super proud of myself, right? Let me have a Nipsey Hussle moment. Rest in peace, Nip. I'm proud of myself. Y'all, I have never, ever done anything that has required me to be disciplined enough in 4 weeks to meet at the same time, same place. And this was super scary for me because I'm a fly by the seat of my pants type of girl. You know, I could have a midday nap, an evening nap, a morning nap. I could stay up all night, and I'm just used to doing things my way. I'm not used to meeting with people every single week at a specific time and place. So for me to do this is a big deal. 3 weeks down, 1 week to go before we start wave 2. And again, it's been very rewarding. And it's interesting because somebody was like, and this really made me feel happy and honored. But one of the current Credit Crushers said, I might just sign up and take your course again. And I said, no, you're not. I won't even let you do that because there's no reason. You have the replays and you'll still have my support after wave 1. Wave 1 people always will have a super duper special place in my heart because they took a chance on me, right? Anytime you're the first, it just hits different. So I said, I'm not going to shut the Telegram down after y'all are done. Y'all will still be able to communicate with each other. I'll still be in there. You'll still be able to ask questions. I might not respond as quick as possible because now I have more people to answer to, but there's no need. I'm honored that you like it enough to take it again, but there's no need for you to do that. So save your money. Again, I told y'all, this is not a money grab for me. I really want people to get results. I really want people to get understanding. I really want people to take action. And I'm using the feedback from wave 1 to make it better for wave 2. So with the first week, I did the presentation, the Q&A. That's what they had access to. Every week they have homework too, by the way. They have homework because I want you to take, this is not, get your popcorn, kick up your feet and watch the Camille show. No. We're going over the information. You're going to ask questions. And then there are some action steps that you have to take before the next session. And if you have any issues, you ask in the Telegram and I will help. That's why y'all have not seen me as much lately, because my first priority is making sure that people who pay me for my time and my knowledge and my expertise get more than they paid for. More than they paid for. Right? So, let me see. What was I saying? Hold on 1 second. I see this. Oh, let me stop the screen share. Oh, I almost left the studio. Hold on. How do I stop it? Bam. Okay, this is a good question. Natural Ever 87 said, with your course, what type of disputes do you teach? So that's a great question. When you say what type of disputes, what do you mean? I more so give you understanding so that with the knowledge, you will know how to dispute almost anything. So most trade lines, most accounts fall into different buckets. And depending on the creditor, the type of transaction, contract, whatever, that will determine what governing agency, that will determine what laws you should look to find violations, right? Sometimes it's federal laws, sometimes it's state laws, sometimes it's UCCs, right? So I more so give you the understanding so that you have the knowledge to know how to navigate those. Last night we had 30 slides for disputing. And we touched on evictions. We touched on we touched on evictions. We touched on I can't think of the difference between collections and charge-offs. We touched on repos. We touched on late payments, goodwill letters. We touched on inquiries. Believe it or not, that's a big deal. The law does not distinguish between hard and soft inquiries, but when you read it, that's how you read it, and that's a huge misnomer. That's a huge misstep. And there's case law, there's precedent that says why you shouldn't do that and how you could be missing out on money when you do that. So again, last night we were 2 hours in, but before I could even talk to them about disputing, before I even spoke to them about disputing, we had a whole hour-long presentation about laws and legal stuff, setting the foundation, because a lot of times for you to correctly dispute, you want to use the laws, but you want to use them correctly. So week 2, last week, before we even did disputing, they had an hour-long presentation with me. They had an hour-long I had an hour-long guest speaker who had some issues with his credit report, tried to dispute it. They didn't pay any attention to him. And then he went as far as at 20, he was 25 at the time. He went as far as getting a consumer protection lawyer, which, by the way, you have to do that in your jurisdiction. Even though he had no money up front, he was able to, he told them step by step what to do. He even shared with people that are in his state who his lawyer was. He told them he showed proof of each check that he got from 3 of the CRAs, credit reporting agencies, as well as Santander, the creditor who messed them up. So that's 4 checks in total. So before we even got to disputing, I talked to them about the laws, the legal stuff that they needed to know, and I showed them proof of someone who had been through this whole crap show, right? And you can't arbitrate the CRAs. So he had to do litigation and proof that he won. So we had to set that whole scenario up before we even got to disputes. Let me see what you say here. With my credit is spelled wrong 5 times and had a hard credit pull when it was supposed to be soft. No, I'm not surprised. Do you assist with that in your course? That's a great question. I will tell you this too. Everything can't be erased. Oftentimes what you'll be able to get off of your credit report depends on what you can prove. Again, it is not what is true. It's only what can be proved that counts. Because when you make a claim, you have to have evidence of that claim. So if you say it was supposed to be a soft pull, I don't know enough in this live. And by the way, no legal advice. I'm just a country girl in the country, just talking, rambling on the internet. Okay, don't take anything I say seriously. That's my disclaimer. But even though you ask a very good question, these things are so fragile. There's not enough information here, right? So if you say, and when you say my credit is spelled wrong 5 times, what do you mean? You mean the name on your credit is spelled? You have 5 different names on your credit? What does that mean? I think a word is omitted or autocorrect messed up something there. Something is wrong 5 times. But yeah, lenders lie, y'all. They lie all the time. They say they won't pull your credit, and they do. They say it'll be a soft pull and it'll be a hard pull, because basically in their eyes, they feel like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? They feel like, Sheree, who gonna check me, boo? Because they know that we don't know what to do, right? So, was this something that was done online? Was it done on the phone? Was it done? Was it something that you apply? Oh, okay. Your name is spelled wrong 5 times. See, I think you just came on Natural 87, but I literally just shared a and I'll just show it again right quick. Somebody who signed up in Wave 2 with me for the Credit Crushers, she just messaged me this morning, because when she signed up and made her payment, I immediately gave her some action steps. We're not going to wait for her class to begin. Nah. There's stuff that you can do right now. And I did the same thing with Wave 1. I said, hey, I need you to go ahead and pull your 3 credit reports. They had action steps before they even had their first class. Okay. Was it here? Yeah, it was here. So yeah, this person that messaged me this morning, Natural 87, you see what she says? She had 13 names. So sis, you doing good if you only got 5. Girl, you doing a good job. Girl, you doing a good job. I shouldn't laugh. This is not funny. My laughter is partially because I'm sleepy, so I apologize. Because it's really not funny. This is our lives, right? But yeah, literally, this is a Wave 2 credit crusher. She went ahead and secured her seat, got started working. I given her some action items, and as you can see right here, she was on the phone for an hour with Mary, got 13 names, 24 addresses, 3 social security numbers, and 3 employers. See, why was all that crap on there? Why was all that crap on there? Any miscellaneous demographic contact information, and I'm giving y'all some jewels right now. You know why? Because it's not that many people that's on, and it's not that many people that's going to reach the that's going to watch the replay. I'm not a huge YouTuber, so I can share so much stuff knowing that most people won't even ever hear it because I'm not sexy enough in my delivery. And those that do hear it, not y'all, because y'all are good people, but just statistically speaking, the majority of people who hear stuff, information, never act on it anyway. So I can share gems freely. I already have. I already have. But why was all this crap on the hair in the first place? Right? They know you don't have 13 names. So these are questions we have to ask ourselves. And then how do you go about getting it off? If you're good enough with your mouthpiece, you'll be able to do it with just a phone call like my Wave 2 Credit Crusher did, which, by the way, remember I said it's not true. It's what you can prove. I asked her, did you record the call? She said, I did. So the question I have for you, Natural 87, is if they said it was going to be a soft inquiry verbally, do you have proof of that? And even in the Credit Crushers, we talk about, are you in a 1 or a 2-party state as it relates to recording calls? That's important to know too, right? A lot of people don't know there is a difference, or they don't know how to find out. That was one of the action items that we have for homework. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we talk about. There's a lot of stuff that has to be done. Oh, you are so very welcome. I'm glad you got on and you asked that. I'm really, really glad you shared that, because a lot of people, if it's not on their file, they think that's not true, but it is very, very true. There are so many people that leave comments under my videos. I don't even have time enough to make all of the videos about, look at what this person said. And everything is not on my file. Unfortunately, I didn't know about consumer protection stuff until I cleaned up my credit. So I was going after the deletions, not in a manner or a method that would give me the dollars. Meaning I don't have a paper trail for a lot of stuff, and I didn't document it properly so that I could present it to get remedy. But that's why I want to share with you guys. I always thought it was better to write out letters. Yeah, and I understand that. It really just depends on what you are doing. With the demographic information, there's no private right of action with that. You can use it if you couple it with some other things. Like if they're doing a whole bunch of stuff on your credit report, you can just throw that in as a bonus and say, hey, look, they have all of this crazy other information. Look how many different names they have on my file. And here's proof of how many times I've tried to get them to correct that. Even informing them that they are putting me at risk for a mixed merged file and identity theft, and they still didn't do it. Even when I presented them with proof that this is my legal name and no other name than this name, you can put it in there as a bonus with other claims, but it in of itself is not a claim. So it's not something that you have to like, yeah, I'm gonna send a certified letter telling them to get my names right. You can do it with a phone call if your mouthpiece is good, right? I shared with the class last night how I actually had a medical collection removed off of my account with a phone call. Played the phone call for them. The phone call was less than 6 minutes. I had a medical collection and some inquiries removed off of my credit report. So I shared that with the class. I will never share that publicly. Again, you pay to get in safe spaces and safe places. There's some things I'll never put on YouTube. I just won't. It wouldn't be smart. On YouTube, you are vulnerable. But when people pay good money, it weeds out a lot of mess that you guys don't even know that we deal with, if that makes sense. Okay. But that was a very good question, Natural 87. I hope I helped you. Is it a good thing or bad thing to tell the credit bureaus to not share your information? I can't answer that for you, because it really depends on a number of different things. What would be the point of you doing that? And I think I kind of know where you're going. A lot of people there's been a lot of information shared. And I will say this to y'all. You have to make a decision about what you can handle and what is best for you. I will tell you, and Yisrael, I know that you've been on here long enough to know that my tone did not change as any indicator of me being frustrated with you at all. I'm just trying to think of how to say this. I know you know that. I'm just saying that in case somebody is like, oh, she got attitude. Because people be wild. But I'll tell you this, you have to decide what is best for you. You have to look at the ramifications of every decision. For me, I'm not going to tell them they can't share my information. Just like if a cop stops me, I'm not going to say, what? I'm not driving, I'm traveling. I'm not driving, I'm progressing forward on four wheels and asphalt. I'm not going to say that. Right now, I'm driving, y'all. I ain't got time to play these games. I ain't got time to roll the dice. I ain't got time to be standing on the side of the. I am a brown woman in 2023. I don't have time to risk my life trying to prove a point, trying to do a verbal battle with you, right? And prove to you that I know the laws more than you do. I ain't got time. So, there are certain things, I'm not going to say they're not true, but I wouldn't do, because it just doesn't fit for me, my lifestyle, me being a single parent wanting to come home to my child, me being a single parent wanting to navigate in this world as easily as possible. And somebody can say, well, it's really not easy, sister, because if you know what you're giving up. Okay, sir. Okay. Right now I got bigger damn fish to fry though. Okay, I got bigger damn fish to fry now. So, I don't go down the rabbit hole of all the consumer protection laws and all my rights and all the stuff that some of the other people that some of you may have heard or been turned on to I don't go down all them holes. Okay. He or she said, that's cool. Okay, good. I'm happy you're picking up what I'm putting down, because I want to answer your question. And I hate it when y'all ask questions and I feel like I'm answering, but I don't want you to feel like she just avoided the answer, because that's definitely not what I'm trying to do. But I don't know you personally, and I don't know what all your I don't know how you made. Okay, I'm tell y'all right now, I'm not built for a lot of the crap that y'all be trying. I'm just not. I'm a pretty drama-free, stress-free person. I ain't built for all that, so I don't even try it. Have no desire at all. So that's it, guys. I don't see any other questions coming through. This was just an update on how the Credit Crushers is going, bragging on my current students, bragging on my future student, and just giving you guys to have an opportunity of a sneak peek and sharing with you guys, as I always do, just some of the things that we discuss, some of the things for you to think about, so that, as you read these laws, you just have my voice at the back of your mind. How are you, interpreting the law? Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I read those laws a lot of times, and I still was like, I don't get it. Am I dumb and I just don't know it? I don't get it. But what it took was me plugging into somebody who did get it, and they could articulate the information in a way that I could receive and digest it. Because everybody that knows and does stuff is not a good teacher. I don't know if y'all picked that up, but everybody ain't meant to teach. So you have to find someone that not only knows it, but communicates in a manner that resonates with you. Most of the credit crushers in wave one, that's why they sign up. It's not because I'm the best in the world. It's not because I'm the most anything, the most popular. They just like the way I talk and the way I tell stories and the way I break it down. And it's funny because after class, I be tired. But and they be tired too. But inevitably, at least one of the credit crushers are going to call me, and we're still going to have a conversation about an hour or so afterward, and they'll be like, I never thought about it that way. And I will be so happy, because that's the whole point for me. I want to light a spark, make something click, make you have an aha, revelation, woosah moment, whatever you call it, right? Come to Jesus moment, all of that. I want to tell you in a way, because a lot of them say, I've heard people go over this before, but not like you did. And I'm like, oh, win for me, check. Because I need their feedback to continue improving on the program, at the very least for wave 2. I don't know if there'll be a wave 3. Exactly. Say that again. Yeah, I'm so serious, y'all. I don't want to go wide. I want to go deep. Okay? And don't nobody nasty say anything about that. What I mean is I'd rather have a small group of people, 5 to 10, that, they all can ask questions without feeling like they're stepping on anybody's toes, or it's so many people on the line, I only want to ask one question, or me saying, look, we got so many people tonight, y'all, 30 seconds is all you got, so get to the point. I don't want to, no. I want to go deep with a few instead of going, being shallow with many. You feel me? Okay. You laughing at me, Israel? You get it? He's like, I get it. Shut up now. Okay, I'm going to shut up now, y'all. I gotta go watch. Let me tell you. I was sweating bullets. I was sweating bullets yesterday, because I was like, this is so important. It has to be good. But the feedback was good. I already gave them the replay, because everybody was like, when is the replay going to be up? I got to listen to this again. I said, I got you. It'll be up in 24 hours. So don't judge me now. But my brain has been on overdrive for the last 72 hours. So now I got to give my brain a break. I'm about to go watch me some Married at First Sight and chillax. Okay, probably play Uno with my son or something. Y'all have fun. Enjoy your family in real life. Get off this social media, especially if you are only entertaining people with huge followings. Always ask them, what are their results? Look for testimonials from people that have, if they making all this money, then don't be afraid to ask them which one of your students are making money. That's why I always share like results and testimonials from people that leave comments or say things to me about results they've gotten as far back as my community tech service, my free credit group, my free YouTube videos. I literally have testimonials for so much information that I've shared from the last 3 years for free. I always test stuff out before I ever put a price point on it, because I have to earn your money with your trust, and that requires time. So don't just look at somebody who popped up somewhere, y'all. Okay, this your homegirl, fix my credit fast in 30 days. I got you. All that fast talking, all that. All right. Natural 87 said, when is your next course? I would like to join. You know what? Thank you for saying that. Let me just wrap it up again, because some people skip to the end of the video. Oh gosh, I've been on here almost an hour. All you have to do is go to, you see right there in the bottom where it says hellocamille.com. That you can get me everywhere from there. Okay. So if you go to hellocamille.com, what's going to happen is share screen. Doop and boop. That takes you to everything that I do. And right here is the Credit Crushers Mentorship form. You just click that, fill it out. The next class I had that is started on March 1st, but I forgot that's when this current wave is ending. That's our last class. So the next wave will be March 2nd, which is a Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. For most people, I know like this time we had people up north and someone in Texas. So 8 o'clock was a good time for us, and it was a good time for me too. So I'm definitely going to keep it 8 o'clock on a Thursday. If you can't make it live though, there will be replays given to you. And like I said, you'll have access to me in the Telegram. We text, we talk. You can talk to me in front of the group if you want to, but if you have something personal, you can talk to me privately. What else? Yeah, and there is homework. There is homework. So yeah, I think that is all I got. Ain't got no more. Okay, let me see. Sleep in peace, family. You all stay safe out there in this crazy. You ain't lying. Ooh, you ain't lying, baby. Okay. I stay inside, go to my balcony every now and then, venture off into Publix. But I be low key. I be low key in the cut. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for your time, your attention. Thank you for these great questions. Again, I hope I shared something that made you think about this a different way. Y'all do not, I don't even care if you don't sign up with me. And I don't say that callously. I just mean it's not just about me. If just find somebody that you resonate with and don't put this credit/consumer protection stuff on the back burner. If you're serious about it, that any money that you would invest will be worth it. You'll get an ROI on it. You'll get a return on your investment. So I'm gonna share one more thing. So in my arbitration mentorship, there was a guy who literally sold his car. That arbitration mentorship was July of last year, and it was $1,000. They only accepted 40 people. They maxed out. I think I was the 40th person to get in. Because truth be told, I didn't really have it like that at the time. Last year was a rough year for me toward the middle half. But something told me to take that mentorship, and I was so happy I did. Anyway, one of the guys though in there, he sold his car to get the $1,000 to take the mentorship. And when I tell you, I have lost track of how many settlement checks he has gotten, but it's well over $1,000, baby. And I'm just like, bruh. I mean, he be on every replay, every call, making flashcards, quick to answer the questions. I'm just like, I'm honored to be in the number. I am honored to be in the number. So, if you have vetted the person properly, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And the more accountability, the better, because life be life and hard on all of us. Most of the people in the Credit Crushers that I've spoken to, they're like, I feel so embarrassed because fill in the blank. Or I didn't want to tell you this, but fill in the blank. And I'm like, girl, me too. Bro, me too. Ain't no shame in my game. We are all mirrors of each other. Don't you hold your head down. You raise your head up high. How can I help you? That's what I want to know. How can I help you? And half the time, whatever they're going through, I've been through too, or whatever they've fallen behind in, I've fallen behind in too. Remember, everything that you're going through, it's not just for you alone. There's going to be another Natural 87. There's going to be another Yisrael. There's going to be another whoever. Somebody is going to come behind you with a story very similar to yours. And you, if you do what you're supposed to do, you will be able to tell them how to make it through. You will be able to give them hope. You will be able to give them that ray of sunshine, that ray of light that they need to keep pushing. Okay? Your story is not for you alone. So I always say I'm going to go and then I start preaching again. So let me go for real. Married at First Sight is calling me. And I'll talk to y'all later. I appreciate each and every one of you. Good night.